Right, I'm going to do a quick experience report on Etizolam. Probably will be quick because I've taken it quite a bit, but there's just not really much to say about it. Oh yeah, and I did a benzodiazepines in general experience report. I don't know if it's disappeared off my page or what's happened, or if I just fucking forgot to post it up there, eh? I feel like either YouTube took it off the air or I just fucking forgot to put it on or deleted it or some shit. Anyways, let me know if you find that. Etizolam, how old am I? I'm very old, 2016. Fuck, 4 years ago. Shit, that's why I'm having problems. I don't remember much of what I did on Amoeba, so just to explain, with benzos in general, there's a hell of a lot of memory loss. It's kind of like being really, really drunk, except not. No, that does do it justice, damn it. Alright, so talk about low dose and high dose experiences and some alternate uses for Etizolam. So essentially, I used to take Etizolam just recreationally for fun most of the time, but an alternate use was to calm down trips, more for other people than myself, but I used to have them on board all the time because they seemed to hit in after about 20 or 30 minutes. So yeah, anyway, low doses, so that's like what, 5 to 10 milligrams probably would be a low dose. Well, eventually it started becoming 20 milligrams was a low dose for me, but that's a thing of fucking tolerance. Yeah, the tolerance develops very quickly. So yeah, I remember taking like 5 to 10 these little blue pills in a night when I first started them. In fact, me and an old flatmate took them on a few occasions, if I remember. In fact, I remember an occasion when he and a few friends of his took them for a few days. Well, our friends, and basically they pretty much lost their memory of the entire 3 days, which is why you shouldn't take benzos if you don't fucking have a clue what they do. But yeah, I remember when I took them in low doses, they were pretty fast hitting. They're extremely physically relaxing compared to a lot of other benzos. Obviously mentally relaxing like all benzos, but I found them more physically relaxing. A lot of benzos. They only lasted about 4 or 5 hours for the main effects. I think the effects actually last about 10 or 12 hours, to be honest, but the main effects only seem to last for about 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, particularly at lower doses. I used to find that this was good to take a lower dose. I think low doses for other people are probably 2 or 3 Etis, because I'm just used to taking a lot more benzo than most people do. Same with some hallucinogens, not the same with stimulants though, so maybe I shouldn't do the stimulants. But yeah, and I used to take it, say, if I was playing a video game, or just to kind of enhance day-to-day life, to sort of relax me, make me a little bit physically sedated. It was nice, having a low dose meant it didn't interfere too much with my motor functions. Yeah, that's something about Etis. They didn't really fuck my motor functions up too much. They just sort of made me feel body high and a little bit relaxed. But yeah, it was nice. Say I was playing like Oblivion, or if I was watching TV or whatever, it was just kind of a nice little feeling that was sort of half background but half there. A little bit of relaxation. Yeah, it was a nice feeling, was it, Islam? I found that low doses were fairly relaxing, much more physically relaxing than mentally relaxing, but they didn't really produce the same sort of blackouts that the higher doses did. So yeah, it was good in lower doses. It was just helpful in general. If you're having a panicky day, just 1 or 2 milligrams of Etis will just fucking wipe that away from you. Yeah, but the only thing with Etizolam and just benzos in general, not all benzos, but Pretty much all benzos. Most of the fucking benzos I've taken I've found to be, yeah, potently addictive, to be honest. Anyways, yeah. Higher doses of Etizolam. We're talking minimum 20 milligrams, maximum of about 60 milligrams. And yes, that sounds like a fucking ridiculous dose, and you shouldn't start that high, blah blah blah. But I didn't start that high. I had a hell of a lot of tolerance, obviously. Anyone who's taken 60 milligrams of Etis and can take 60 milligrams of Etis and isn't dead has a large tolerance. So yeah, basically started up in the dosage because I liked having the light effects, but I was getting slight tolerance, and also I just wanted to see what it was like on the wild side. Um, Consumed a lot of Etis in I don't know how many in a day, probably like 100, 110 in a day before. See, the problem with higher doses is that once you step over that part of you that is mentally aware of what's going on, it's kind of like your brain falls asleep but your body's still walking. It's kind of like you're sleepwalking, I guess. Higher doses, there's some really, really extreme relaxation, but the problem is if you tip yourself just a little bit over that extreme relaxation and sort of amnesia, you just become pure amnesia. You have extreme blackouts. So the reason you take high doses, or I take high doses, is because it's relaxing as fuck. I can't do very much when I think about it, but for whatever reason, at blackout levels are now functionable. I don't know why, but yeah, it's just good shit. I mean, I could just spend a whole day ate out of my face and just stay that way all day. Nothing would bother me. My body just feels amazing. Food, everything. People could die in front of me and I'd just be like, oh yeah, what a beautiful day. So yeah, that's why I took high dose of Etis. But I started to realise that first of all, the compulsion to take more is very high when you're on a lot of the substance, and once you start taking more and you start forgetting what's happening, you black out, you don't realise what's happening, and you just take more and more and more while you're blacked out with no recollection of what you're doing and no proper understanding. And this is where you end up like, I bought 1,000 Etis and they were gone after about a week of binging on Etis, which means I had more than 100 a day by that kind of calculation. But I reckon I probably had about 100 a day and probably gave the other 300 away, or maybe money was exchanged for them. I can't confirm or deny that. I actually can't confirm or deny that. But basically, you've got to be careful with the high dosage. It's good fun if you do a high dosage thing, but it's problematic if you've got more, because you end up taking them with no memory of taking them and taking them the next day, and then a week later all of a sudden it's been a fucking week and you're just like, what the fuck? Where am I? How did this happen? People that you don't know tell you that you've been on nights out and you've done this crazy thing and that crazy thing. You just you don't even know them. It's mental. It's mental. Like how far benzos can take you in general and how far Etizolam took me was just, yeah, fucking mind-boggling, man. Fucking mind-boggling. Never drink with benzos. When I had a higher tolerance, I had about 3 or 4 milligrams and it barely affected me. I kind of forgot about it, went to the pub, had a couple of shots, walked straight home, which is only 3 minutes away, and about 7 or 8 minutes later just boom, went totally fucking unconscious. Came to about 8 hours later, somewhere completely different. So again, the combination of alcohol and benzos is not advisable. I know a lot of my friends have taken them together and they've just, yeah, gone fucking batshit insane. Another thing with this is withdrawals are pretty nasty. Like, it's strange. You'd think that you'd feel tired from taking the stuff, but you actually feel tired from withdrawing. Like, you feel that agitated tired, and your brain's just going paranoias, tiredness, and fucking agitation just rule you. That's just on lower doses. When you've had when I came off the week binge where I may or may not have had about 1,000 Etizolam in a week, 1 milligram pills, but I don't think I had all the 1,000. It's possible though. It's actually possible, which is not an entertaining thought at all. Yeah, the problem when you're withdrawing to that level is you physically feel ill. You start fucking shaking like you're an alcoholic. You feel like you're gonna puke. It's just not nice, man. Massive fucking temperature changes and such. Your body feels all kinds of weird pressures when you're withdrawing from it. So yeah, I don't like that. Oh yeah, another thing. The sedation that you get from Etizolam does feel like a kind of just a nice pressure kind of pleasure coming through your body, and sort of like I don't know, a little bit like opiates without the sinking feeling, kind of like there's a little humming going through your body. It's nice. It's like a nice vibration for your body. But yeah, the withdrawals are fucking awful from benzos. But Etizolam at that rate, yeah, I was probably withdrawing for about a week and a half, and the first 4 or 5 days were so severe that I couldn't sleep for the first 2 or 3 days of that. And yeah, I was basically stuck in my house, only going like 30 meters to the local corner shop to buy basically sweets and crisps to keep me alive because I was paranoid that people were gonna fucking kill me, paranoid that like social groups were doing these kind of things, paranoid that my girlfriend was cheating on me and I had AIDS. Like, yeah, you can laugh at that and think that's just irrational, but seriously, benzo withdrawal is not something to fucking laugh at all. Well, actually, I'll fucking laugh at it. Ha ha! But it's not funny to experience. That's more what I'm getting at. It's definitely not a fun thing. All right, I mentioned an alternate use of benzos. I haven't used benzos that much for this, but you can use them to stop a bad trip or sort of mellow a bad trip. I don't know if it's a good idea because I don't know about that kind of chemical interaction. Shut the fuck up, phone. So yeah, I don't know if it's a good or a bad idea as such to do that, but it has been done before, and yeah, with good results. Essentially, another thing that's worth doing if you're having a bad trip is taking enough of it to get you to go to sleep. But Tislam, as I say, was quite good because it works pretty quickly, and yeah, as well if you need to go to sleep while you're intoxicated on benzos, it can be used on hallucinogenics. It can be useful because sometimes when you have like high doses of hallucinogenic, particularly stuff like phenethylamines and LSD, you find sleep is really difficult. Benzos will pretty much sort that out. The only thing they won't sort out is sort of feeling like you can't sleep when you're on stims, and it's really not a good idea to mix benzos and stims. Yeah, that's pretty much about everything. Recommendations with benzos is do not take too many for too long because withdrawal's awful. You don't want to get addicted, and having tolerance of them might make you look like you're hardcore as fucking drug circles, but it's not fucking funny. You'll understand that very quickly. Um, yeah, the withdrawal's painful. It's fun from time to time, but be careful with your use. Same with everything, really. And yeah, it could be a good trip stopper or a way of dampening the trip without doing too much damage to yourself. Anyways, that was my experience report on Etizolam. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.